Hello everybody, hope you're all having a great day. I'm Chaos Music, and we have reached the end of 2020. Yes. Whilst the year has been plagued with COVID-19 and some problems closer to home, as I'm sure you've heard about by now, one thing that this year hasn't been short of is good music. So today I'm going to take you through my top 10 songs of 2020. Now this is my personal opinion, and if there's a song which you think I've missed and should check out, then please let me know in the comments section below. And without any further delay, let's get right into it. In at number 10 is Another World by Gojira. How a band can make a song sound so complete and interesting using only two riffs is beyond me. The main riff is awesome. The verse riff matches the song really well. The extra leads added on top of those two riffs work and really expand the overall texture of the song. The vocals fit the bill really well, and this is also probably one of Mario Duplantiers' most simple drum tracks, but it's still effective enough to stand out all on its own. Number 9 goes to In Flames with their re-recorded version of Claimant. Now, hear me out on this one. It took some balls for In Flames to do what they did in re-recording 4 of their songs from the classic 2000 album. Many will say it wasn't needed, many will say that the songs have been ruined because of it. I think differently. They needed the modern touch-up, and I think they achieved that. Whilst the guitar tone took a beating compared to the originals, I much prefer the vocals and the overall sound of these new versions, with the title track being my favourite. It was the first one that I heard when it was released earlier in the year, so it has got that going for itself. In at number 8 is Mick Gordon, The Only Thing They Fear Is You. This is from the Doom Eternal soundtrack, and while the game came out last year, the soundtrack didn't come out until 2020, so it earns its place here. Thankfully, Mick took his time in getting the official versions mixed and mastered. It's everything you'd expect from a song featured on a game like Doom. It's heavy, it's tuned down low, and it's just such a fun song to listen to and to play from time to time. At number 7, we have Down by Love and Death. A fairly new song to add to the list. The video only came out at the start of December. Brian Welch and his other band released this song in preparation for their second album coming out next year. I really enjoyed the first album, and this new song carries on the vein of good songwriting, good vocals, and good lyrics. Brian needs no introductions, being one of the two guitarists that made Korn so big over the years, but I feel the music in Love and Death is more technical, while still having that familiar feeling of Korn's music. The song is well mixed, it's well written, the vocals are great, and it's a really good first song from what I hope will be a really good second album by the band. Number 6 goes to Mastodon with Fallen Torches, a song more reminiscent of the older, heavier days of Mastodon, mixed up with a fantastic melodic chorus and one of my favourite bridge sections of the year. The chord change in that section in particular and the vocal change really sets this song apart. The darker, clean section afterwards is haunting too. A truly well written song, all the sections blend surprisingly well considering the amount of changes the song has. Number 5, Trivium, Catastrophist. Trivium have been on great form over the past few years. The Sin and the Sentence was, in my opinion, the saviour of Trivium after a few years of fairly disappointing albums. The introduction of Alex Bent on the drums couldn't have been welcomed at a better time for the band, and I really hope he stays with them. What the Dead Men Say follows right on from where Sin left off, with really creative writing and much more of what should be expected from a band as technical as Trivium. Catastrophist is just a smorgasbord of great riffs, great vocals, awesome drums, prominent bass, and a great overall mix. It's so good to hear these guys back doing what they do best. Number 4 is Killer Be Killed with Deconstructing Self-Destruction. I had never heard of Killer Be Killed until a couple of months ago when I heard this song for the first time. The lyrics seem to fit exactly to my current situations, leading this to sort of become my song in recent times. I was never a fan of Dillinger Escape Plan, but Greg Puciato has such an incredibly diverse voice, partnered in this band with Troy Sanders of Mastodon and with the roars of Max Cavalera, It's a strange but very fitting mix of vocal styles. Overall, the song's great, I absolutely love it. We've reached the top 3. Taking my 3rd place this year is Bring Me the Horizon and Parasite Eve. A surprising one really, I was never a big fan of Bring Me until listening to Shadow Moses a few years ago. I then loved That's the Spirit, so they have grown to become a much more accessible band in my eyes. This year's EP, Posthuman, is fantastic. From the all-out thrash attack of Dear Diary to the sombre, emotional and very long titled The Only Butterflies Left Will Be in Your Chest As You March Towards Your Death. The song that really took off for me, along with a lot of musicians this year, was Parasite Eve. A mix of all sorts of styles, with a sampled Bulgarian folk song at the beginning, electronic pop verses and heavy choruses. It's a very well constructed song and the guys must be proud of their work. Mick Gordon from earlier was in charge of mixing this, hence the huge overall sound. Also, big respect to Ollie Sykes, whose screams are getting much more reminiscent of the old days. I never thought much of him in the past, but his voice is pretty damn solid across this entire EP. Number 2, and my silver medalists, are the incredible Vola with Head Mounted Sideways. Vola released a new song this year and I could not have been happier about that. I love Vola, one of my favourite bands of the last 2 to 3 years. Their unusual mixture of what sounds like a blend of Tears for Fears and Meshuggah is addictive. And I was praying the song would be good and I was not disappointed. Probably the song I've had on repeat the most since it was released. If you haven't heard it, I urge you to go and check it out. It could have been my number 1 really easily, but it was pipped to the post by a song from earlier this year. And here we are, we've reached number 1 and my favourite song of 2020. And it's a bit of a cop-out as it's 2 songs that segue together, so I'm classing them as one song. Coming from my favourite album of the year, Virus, and my number 1 of 2020 is Haken, with The Strain and Canary Yellow. Starting with The Strain, which is a beautifully written song, various styles put together into this progressive wonder. Whilst not being as progressive as other songs on the album, it's much more straightforward and easier for anyone to listen to. The chorus is so simple, almost pop-punk style, followed by one of my favourite musical sections of many years. The vocals are superb, the song is really well mixed and everything is just great on the ears. It could have easily been one of the singles of the album. It then segues into the 3rd single of the album and possibly the most beautiful song of the year in Canary Yellow. A much more subdued beast than its predecessor. It maintains a much cleaner sound throughout the song with much softer vocals and softer instruments, which, watching the video, you wouldn't expect really. If you haven't watched it, check it out and prepare for a trip. Both songs together clock in at just over 9.5 minutes, but it's more than worth your time. And that's it from me for this video and for 2020. While the year has had some amazing things happen, overall I say good riddance to it. Let's just hope that 2021 is a much better year for everybody. I've only just begun my journey here on YouTube, but 2021 will see much more from me. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please subscribe to the channel and tick that notification bell to get further updates from me. I have live streams on my Facebook page every 3rd Thursday at 8 PM, and then videos are up here every other Thursday at 8 PM. I've been Chaos Music. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you all in 2021. Until then, take care.